You have something special. You have greatness in you. I have a special guest, Dr. Glenda Davis, and she's going to be talking about something that's very personal to me, and that is diabetes, type 2 diabetes, particularly. And that's something that I've been dealing with, and they say it's at an epidemic level all across the country, and particularly in the African American community. Hello, how are you, Dr. Davis?
I am amazing, and thank you for having me here today. It's my pleasure and privilege to be here, most definitely. And I
Thank
want
you.
to give everyone some encouragement before we get started, if I can. And that
Hmm.
is, if you woke up this morning, healing is possible. And I don't say that because I wrote 5 books on defeating diabetes, and I don't say that because I studied at the University of Southern California. I say that because healing, in order for us to get past this epidemic, it's going to start with unlearning, learning, and relearning. And I want to express to everyone why I'm so passionate in what I do because I've been serving diabetics for over 2 decades.
Hmm.
And that has to do with my grandmother. So her story is close to me and it means the most to me because when my
Hmm.
grandmother was in her early 50s, she was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Hmm.
And it was a random diagnosis. It came out of nowhere. She actually went to the doctor for something else, and it just so happened that they pulled her hemoglobin A1C and her serum blood sugar, and she was diagnosed with the sugar, as they used to call it, remember?
Yeah, that's what my mother used to say, the sugar.
Hmm.
Now, when did you become passionate about this?
It is innate. I think my grandmother's story affected me so much that because I couldn't help her, because she passed away from diabetes complications when I was a toddler.
I'm sorry for your
Couldn't,
loss.
thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Is this lifestyle or genetic? Which is it? Which is the dominant factor?
Well, let me tell you something. Possibly 99% of what you know about diabetes is a lie. I mean, when I was growing up, I heard that diabetes was genetic. I heard that it was irreversible. I heard that the meds were the cure-all. But time and experience has shown me differently. And the number one myth is that type 2 diabetes is genetic. And what I have to say about that is, for me, clinically speaking, I don't know of any gene for type 2 diabetes. That's why in a family, there can be 3 diabetics and the other 20 are not. So I'm starting to believe that maybe they use what's possibly a false narrative so that people give up hope and then just lay down in the hole early because they don't know that there are options. So we have to start off by breaking this diabetic ignorance. Is very important because when you're diagnosed, typically they'll say go on a diet, lose weight, exercise, and then take these pills that start with the letter M. And I encourage everyone to go to the chat and type in what pill I'm talking about because most of you guys have heard it.
Metformin?
But there you go.
Yeah, at
But
one
here's
time
the
I was on that, and at one time I was taking insulin shots. I changed my lifestyle, and not because my doctor suggested that I did. I decided myself that I wanted to make sure I got off those needles, and it really made a dramatic difference. I think that one of the things that I've noticed is that in the healing process, it's a partnership, and you are the lead partner as a patient. And I found myself when I go to doctors and I look back over the years, I felt like a transaction as opposed to a patient. That they spend less than 10 minutes with you. That I've been told by doctors that the system is broken, that people have to really educate themselves and advocate for themselves. So I'd like for you, if you can give us some actionable steps. Anyone that has been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or a family member or a friend, what are some of the actionable steps you would suggest that they should do in order to help to accelerate the healing process?
right. There are some steps because I think that they tend to teach you what to think instead of how to think. And the thing is, I think a lot of people are looking in the wrong place for healing because the hospital is typically where a diabetic goes. You use your insurance card, you go to the hospital, and that's where you get your service. A lot of people don't understand that the word hospital is a derivative of hospice, and hospice in Latin means house of the dead. So a lot of people, unbeknownst to them, are knocking on the door of the house of the dead asking for healing.
Yeah,
And
I
what
didn't
we're
know that
finding is
either. Oh my goodness. Oh boy,
here's
the
the
house
whole
of the
thing.
dead. Yes. So, all right. So we're in here, and the goal is to give people some things that they can do to be an active force in their own healing process. So, what's the first thing a person should do if they are identified as type 2 diabetic?
I believe the first thing you want to do is figure out who, what, when, where, and why you cannot regulate your blood sugar because I don't believe that you are a diabetic because you have a deficiency in metformin. And I don't believe you're a diabetic because you just caught it and now it's your fate. And when I think of a diabetic, I think of a glacier sitting in the water. So if you imagine a glacier in the water where 20% of the glacier is above the water surface and 80% of the glacier is under the water surface. So if you're a type 2 diabetic and you're using your insurance, I believe what they're doing is they're just medicating the 20% above the surface. And you may ask, like, okay, what's the 20% above the surface? Well, those are the blood labs that they pull because they're pulling your labs to see how you're responding to medication so that they can continue to medicate and operate as your health continues to deteriorate. So on your labs, they'll check for your hemoglobin A1C, your serum blood sugar. They might check a liver enzyme and maybe your cholesterol, red blood cells, and some other things. So they are checking the flags that they medicate. Unbeknownst to a diabetic, that the whole reason that you cannot regulate your blood sugar lies under the water surface. And typically, no one goes under the hood of the car to take a look. So we all know that anything left to itself moves towards disorder. And that's why a lot of diabetics, when they're diagnosed, they're like, not that bad. And then you fast forward to present day. I'm taking this pill for this and this pill for that. Now they're talking about insulin, and now I can't sleep, and now I urinate all the time, and now my energy is lacking. So I want to express that there is another way, and that you can, you will, and you must defeat diabetes. But I believe it's not about doing science projects on yourself. I believe it's not about diet, nutrition, and exercise. And the reason I say that is because, yeah, you can use diet, nutrition, and exercise to sustain your results. I don't think I've ever met a diabetic who used diet, nutrition, exercise, and popped these pills and have become non-diabetic. So I discovered after all of these years in clinical practice I've discovered the possible 14 hidden root causes of type 2 diabetes. Number one is leaky gut. Number two is thyroid disease. Number three is fatty liver. Number four is imbalanced reproductive hormones. Number five is imbalanced energy hormones. Number six is iron anemia. Number seven is kidney stress. Number eight is adrenal gland dysfunction. Number nine is absorption issues. Number 10 is nutritional deficiencies. Number 11 is infection. Number 12 is inflammation. Number 13 is other autoimmune disorders. And number 14 is toxic exposure. And I also figured out the organs that can help you regulate your blood sugar. Number one is the adrenal glands. Number two is the pancreas. Number three is the liver. Number four is the thyroid. And then after all that, I put it into a blueprint that includes hand holding and accountability and a tribe. And what I want to say is that a lot of diabetics that I meet, they're burned out. They've been chasing their tail, doing science experiments on themselves, doing everything that they made them do. And they're telling me they're getting worse faster. So I have to ask everyone, and I want everyone just to be honest with themselves. And that is, if it took me decades to uncover the possible hidden roots of type 2 diabetes, and there's 14 of them. It's a lot. And the organs that play a role in sugar regulation. How confident are all of you that you can solve this without my guidance?
Mm. What is your website? Because obviously it's a resource for people to educate themselves, to go there and get information. And how can people find your website, and what can they look for and expect to find?
Thanks for asking. I want to say one thing. Like Maya Angelou said, do the best you can with what you have, but when you know better, do better. And we're talking about our health. And if you remember what uh, Harriet Tubman said that I freed 1,000 slaves, but I would have freed 1,000 more only if they knew that they were slaves. So if you're ready for freedom, and I mean freedom, like getting back to yourself, imagine being at your grandchildren's high school graduation, or imagine traveling to Italy with your friends without insulin and pills and feeling good, or just imagine like losing that extra 30 pounds that's making you feel awkward in your clothes. I got to tell you, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you did everything that they made you do, and your sugar's still high, and you're still gaining weight, you still can't sleep at night, and you still don't have energy, you must stop guessing and start testing. And that's why I created the root cause super scan. And this is what's included in the root cause super scan. Number one, you're going to do a simple at home hair test that's going to expose those other things that the blood test often miss, which have a lot
Hmm.
to do with the 14 hidden root causes of type 2 diabetes. Here's an example of the report, and it's very thorough. But the second
Hmm.
thing you're going to get an hour and a half with me so that not only can I deliver your results, but I'll fully explain them, and I'll also give you a plan of action to start fixing them. And the investment for that, it's only $97. And if you want them to look at your blood test in the near future and say, I don't know what you've been doing, but keep doing it, then this is the thing that you've been missing. So I encourage all of you to go to www.diabeteshairtest.com. So
Repeat
again,
that again, please.
www.diabeteshairtest.com, so that you can get the root cause super scan, diabeteshairtest.com. And then go do that and break free from the shackles that you don't even know that are holding you down. Because if you don't want the answer, then you can go ahead and just keep guessing. But if you're ready to finally fix what's broken, the who, what, when, where, and why you cannot regulate your blood sugar, this is definitely it.
What's the main thing that you want people to walk away with in what you've just shared, and the long list of things that you exposed us to that most of us are not aware of? That what's the most responsible thing a person can do if they've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes or been dealing with it for years? What would you suggest that they do, the first thing?
And if you're not getting the results that you want from doing what they're making you do, to take the personal responsibility to integrate other solutions. Because if they haven't come checking for you and you're getting worse over time, this can become a fight for your life. And I encourage people to make a very minimal investment to get this information with this new technology, or continuing to suffer and not feel well and lose energy, can't sleep through the night, and taking pills until eventually, what if there's a complication from diabetes, which could be a heart attack, a stroke? It could be dialysis. It could be going blind from eye disease. It could be neuropathy. It could be an amputation. And if you're lucky enough to survive a diabetic complication, oh, it's a life changer. So I encourage people not to gamble while you have the opportunity to make a decision for yourself. Instead of being on that gurney and staring at the ceiling, talking about woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda, take some action because you have more to lose by not doing that. Let's get to the root so that you can give diabetes the boot finally.
And once you mention the website again, repeat it twice because it's rather long.
Yes. www.diabeteshairtest.com. So again, www.diabetes, DIABETESHAIR test.com.
And what will the hair test reveal?
So the hair test is a new technology, which I believe is more specific than what blood can find,
Hmm.
to help us figure out which of the 14 hidden root causes of type 2 diabetes that I've discovered could be contributing to your inability to not balance your blood sugar naturally.
Hmm. All right. This is
Mhm.
exciting. I look forward to future communication with you. This is very
Most
helpful.
definitely.
And thank you so much for the work that you're doing. You're saving lives. This is the greater work. It's a pleasure and honor to meet you and to have a conversation with you on this subject that's really affecting our community.
Amen. Likewise, and it is my pleasure and privilege to be here and bless everyone real good. And like I said, if you woke up this morning, healing is possible because healing is your birthright. So I encourage you to take action.
I like that. Healing is your birthright. Thank you. Bye for now. Take care.
Bye bye for now.